going to be showing my video on using washi tape to create some cutouts. So I had posted on my Facebook page about some pieces I had made using washi tape. And I love the fact that, well, one, I have a lot of washi tape, but two, that you can do something really different with washi tape. I have been on another channel, and unfortunately I don't remember the channel name. They had used washi tape when they were making resin earrings. And this was about 6 to 8 months ago that I had seen the video. And because I have so much washi tape, I thought there's got to be something I can use it for. And I had also posted on my Facebook page some hearts that I had done using the washi tape. And unfortunately, I don't have them close by right now. But I may do another video showing them again, or you can check out my Facebook page, Being Intentionally Creative, if you'd like to see some more of what I've done. Anyway, because I had some Christmas type washi tape and then some tape that sort of reflected, well, I'll call a tree, I made this piece. I had some leftovers, so I also made some hearts, which I think are really kind of cool, using Christmas themed washi tape. Let me show you what I have done in order to pull this project together. And it is very simple. It doesn't take a lot. You will need washi tape. I have already cut down a piece of cardstock, and this is a 110-pound cardstock. Now, one of the companies out there, Recollections, is making a 24-pound cardstock. You can get 65, I believe 80, and then 110. And I'm not sure if there's a 100-pound out there or not. But I decided I would use the 110. You can use a lighter cardstock, and I have done that. And part of the reason using a lighter cardstock might be helpful is because of the thinlets from Sizzix that I'm using to cut through the cardstock. If you get too thick with your cardstock, these pieces might have a bit of a challenge going through. But I've been okay with what I'm doing. And I'm going to show you something at the end which would probably make these not usable on the foam that I've put on. But anyways, getting ahead of myself, let's just stick with the project at hand. One of the things I had learned from someone else too on one of the YouTube videos, and I will admit I am a huge fan of YouTube, and whenever I want to find anything out, if I don't know the answer, I go to YouTube, because there's so many videos out there, so much useful content, that I have gotten some incredible ideas. And the beautiful thing is when you can get ideas using things you already have in your home. This is part of a Cricut mat that I have cut down. And again, I got this idea from YouTube. And the reason I like it is that when I'm working with something that moves around, so obviously if you put this on here, trying to work with it is just going to slide around. So I cut a piece of my Cricut, and now I can set this down on here and know it's not going to move, which is a beautiful thing. We're going to put these dies aside for the moment, and we're going to bring this closer to me. Now, one of the things with washi tape, and it's very interesting to me, I love that they have so many different designs and whatnot, but I'm very curious about the fact that with washi tape, it's not that sticky. Sometimes I've used washi tapes to tape up the back of envelopes when I'm mailing something out to somebody. I have to put regular tape on top of it because this is not sticky enough and it will peel. So if you decide to use washi tape as a decorative way of sealing up an envelope, remember to use regular tape on top of it, because it will peel away. And if there's something important in your envelope, or you just don't want anyone else in your envelope, you don't want to get the envelope to get damaged while it's in transport to wherever it's going, then yes, put a regular masking, not a masking tape, just a regular tape on top of it, a clear tape, to hold it down. Luckily I found this out. I put some on a card and it had started to come up before I'd mailed the card, and that's why I'm giving that tip to you. Because of that, and knowing that this is not as tacky as a regular tape, so if anyone who makes washi tape out there is listening, if you wouldn't mind maybe considering putting some more tack on that, I have some double-sided tape here. This is by Recollections. This is a 2-inch roll that I'm using. I had been using, I think, a 1/2 inch before, which, depending on the size that you're doing, it is going to take you a long time to put the tape, this double-sided tape down, and then you've got to put your washi tape on top of that. So I decided, because I knew washi tape wouldn't stick down, and because I want to use what I'm cutting out right now on cards, I want to make sure it is stuck to this cardstock. All I'm going to do is take this, and I don't want to waste it. So what I do is I will either do it like this and lay it down and then cut it, or once I kind of have an idea of where it is, I can always cut here. But for these purposes, I'm just going to, and if you get a really sticky one, you got to be careful and make sure you place it where you want it. So we'll do that. Grab my scissors and cut this. And this Recollections double-sided tape is very sticky. So we'll do that. Now you'll notice that obviously I don't have a 2-inch space here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece off with my handy dandy little Cricut tool. So we'll do that. And it can be a little finicky. I'm very grateful today that that's just peeling off really easy for me. And I'll move that and make sure we're still in. I'm still learning the whole technology with how to videotape. So I appreciate if people can bear with me. And then if you need to, like I do, I just turn that around. So again, I'm making sure I line up with my edge. Like that. And then we'll cut it. And not to worry, we're going to get rid of those edges once we have the washi tape laid down. So I'm not at all concerned that I'm overlapping this. And it was just easier for me to use this thicker or this wider tape than to go through the motions of having you watch me with tape that isn't as wide. So that's done now. Also, in doing this video, I pulled out the 5 washi tapes I'm going to use because I'm dealing with leaves. So I'm trying to be a bit of a traditionalist and stick with things that relate to leaves and or the coloring. Now, I have to switch glasses out for this next part. Okay. Now all we're going to do is find the edge of this where it starts to unravel. And then we're just going to lay these down. And I'm a bit of a fussy individual, so I like to get things as close to lined up as possible. And then we're just going to keep doing this. Oops, make sure I'm in camera here, don't I? Okay. And I get it as close as I can to the one before because I don't really want to see, oops, the cardstock as I say that, and I can see it. Now, probably really won't matter a lot. The other thing you can do is use colored cardstock. For this example, I'm just using a beige cardstock, but you could use colored cardstock, and then you'd probably want to be even a little more careful doing it so that you aren't showing, unless you don't care, which is totally cool too. So we'll just keep going. And randomness, do this however you want. I don't have any real rhyme or reason. I'm doing whatever, literally say, floats my boat. Like I say, I like things different. I don't like following usual standards. Self-expression, that's what it's about. It's about exploring what works for you and knowing that with whatever you do, I had someone tell me a few years back that we all have an audience. And there will be people that are interested in what you're doing, and they'll want to learn techniques from you because they relate to what you're doing and they're working with the same type of things that you're doing. And I've mentioned before, I like to do a lot of different things, and therefore you'll see me do a lot of different things on my channel, whether it's just having a conversation with you, whether it's showing you how to do something. Yeah, I like variety. I like variety. So we'll just put this last piece down. I do like glitter. And it's kind of interesting with this glitter washi tape. I find it's got a little bit more tack to it, but it seems to slide around more easily than the others, which I'm not sure why. Okay, so we've got that done. This I'm not going to concern myself with. The only reason I'll put a little bit more washi tape up here is if the pieces I have aren't going to fit. So we'll just kind of lay these out, and I'm going to have to go to my Sizzix shortly so that I can cut these out so you can see them. But yeah, great. And I do try and move them around a little bit as well to get a variety of different washi tape in them. So I'm not just getting one particular piece of washi tape in there. So we know that's going to fit. So we're great with that. And then I have some other dies that will probably be able to get into some of these small little spaces I have left over so I can not waste. I don't like wasting if I can avoid it. Okay, so next step is we're just going to peel this off. This is, as I said, this is a great way to hold things down. I don't like things sliding around if I can at all avoid it. And this is a cool little trick. So we're just going to peel this up now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off these sides because, well, we don't need them. Okay. And then if you're lucky, it all comes off in one and doesn't stick like crazy to your hands. Get rid of that. And then we're going to do the other side. Perfect. And there we go. So now all you're dealing with is this piece. Now I'm going to trim this off just because it's sticky there at the top, and I don't want that getting caught, as you can see, when I'm using my Sizzix. Okay, so that's done. So this is what we're left with. And I'm just going to run over to my Sizzix Big Shot. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll be right back. So I'm just going to place my protective cover over top of my Cricut mat that I have here so everything isn't sticking. I did leave the pieces I cut out within the dies themselves for right now so we can, you know, quote, demold them together, which I thought might be kind of fun. And I also brought over, so here's what's left of the piece that I cut out of. Now, what you could use this for, if you wanted to, if you were wanting to play, is you could actually use this as a stencil. Put this down on something and then randomly do shapes around a card, for example, or, oh, I don't know. You could probably come up with some ideas outside of what I'm thinking right now. So, but for right now, all I'm thinking is that you could take a piece of cardstock, put this down, and then color it in with something to give you an unusual shape on a card or whatever you have. Or you could actually take this piece, and I guess you could just put it down here and then do something inside. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but there's probably a lot of different things you can do with this. So that's our cutout. And now here are the pieces. So I have only one small heart, so I cut that one out because I had a couple of spots left on this. And then again, I just use one of my Cricut tools that's got the pointy little end on it. And then we'll just punch these out. So there's that heart. And then one of my leaves. I'm thinking, okay. And what I like about this is that it gives some added dimension to whatever you're working on. There's a lot of colored cardstock out there that's absolutely gorgeous, and I know that because I have quite a bit of it. And I don't know, there was just something about using the washi tape to make pieces like this that just grabbed my attention, so I thought I gotta run with it and see what I can do. But the cool thing is too, you could take some of your regular cardstock and then just incorporate it with the washi tape cutouts that you've done. So let me get my hands out of the way so you can see the different pieces. Again, learning this whole video thing, I'm going to love when I have this down to a pretty good art form. So here we have the different shapes, and maybe putting it on white will be a good idea. Let's get these on here. Right. So there you have it. It's a really simple thing to do. And if you don't have a Sizzix Big Shot and you don't have dies, but you're really good at cutting things out, by all means. I don't have the artistic skill to cut things out and have them look remotely like I would like them to. The vision's in my head, but when it comes out afterwards, it's not very good. So this is something you can do using any washi tape you may have. And just remember that because it's not as tacky as regular tape, I highly recommend using a double-sided tape to hold it down so that you don't run the risk of it rolling up. Yeah, or the other thing you could do, but I find the double-sided tape easier, would be to use a glue. But then you would have to do a piece and then glue and then piece and then glue. And that's fair if you want to do that. For me, the double-sided tape is easier. Now, the other thing I could do with these, now that they're cut out, if I didn't want to use them on a card, is I could seal these up and then put UV resin on top of them and then make them into earrings, make them into a pendant. And again, I love unusual, I love abstract. So to me, these would really catch my eyes if someone were wearing them. So I think that's another cool idea. But if you get short on any ideas, YouTube, absolutely a go-to for me. Now, the one other thing, I want to go back to the couple of pieces, and I totally forgot. I meant to bring one of my other hearts over, but unfortunately I forgot. So this piece I cut out yesterday. Again, I'm using washi tape, but I have this on foam. And the nice thing about the foam is if you do a lot of making cards and you want dimensional, this helps, and then you can place it down and it just gives you a 3D effect. This was cut out using this, which is a Sizzix die, and they're actually metal pieces under there that pop up and cut through your cardstock to create this. So this is from here. Now, I have not tried with one of these to go through this kind of foam because it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I don't see these dies being able to cut through. But if you have these bigger dies, then it cutting through was no issue whatsoever. Again, it's a Recollections foam that I'm using on that. And so just another option is if you want some thickness to the pieces you're cutting out, you can get foam, two-sided foam. Okay, so one last thing before I end this video. The other thing I did with this piece is I use some DecoArt Enchanted Shimmer on this just to give it a bit of a shine. Again, not something you have to do, and I think we're picking it up a little bit there, yeah. So you could do that just to give it a little added bonus. The other thing you could do too, which may take away from it, and I may try this myself, is if you cut out little ornament balls that you could put on top of this to give it even more dimension. And that's something I've thought about, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But just something different that would just add a little bit of sparkle. But again, it's going to depend on what project you're working on and how elaborate you want to make things, because the possibilities truly are endless when it comes to doing some of these things. Anyway, that is my video for today on washi tape and a really cool way of using it and combining it with some of the other cardstock or items you have in your craft room, just to switch things up a little bit. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to have to say it. If you like this, if you could hit like, and if you want to subscribe so you know when my videos are upcoming. I hope you have a wonderful day, regardless of what you get up to. And please note, every one of you is creative, and don't ever let someone tell you what you can't do, because they don't know what you can and cannot do. Only you do. Have a wonderful day. I'll chat with you soon. Bye for now.